Hello, welcome to week 3 of COMM 104. This week is a very important lesson, me included. This is something time management and procrastination. As you go through the articulate of week 3, there's going to be different strategies and different thoughts about how to manage your time the best, to put in all of the things that we all are going in different directions with work and family and trying to fit in a little bit of fun, and then also reaching your goals and attending school and doing well in class. So there's a lot of good tips in there. And then after you have read that, you're going to go through the week 3 discussion. Before you hop on the discussion board, watch this short little video about good time management versus bad time management. And the idea with this and this week's lecture is to get those thoughts into our head and to get those strategies that maybe we've forgotten about, or maybe some that you've never heard of before and want to put into place, so we don't feel overly stressed and we are able to meet the goals each week that we set for ourselves. So after you've watched that short video, you're going to define what it means to have a balanced schedule and to have time management. And then you're going to compare the strategies both women used in that short video and the pros and cons of what that looked like in their schedule. And then you're going to reflect on your own schedule and explain what you do well to manage your time and what you want to do to find some more balance in your schedule. All right, so one of the main assignments that you're going to be working on this week is the time log journal assessment. And there are several documents here. The first one you're going to open is the time log journal assessment. So when you open that, it's going to give you the assignment directions and also the rubric that you're going to want to make sure that you're kind of using as a checklist before you submit your assignment, because that's what I use to grade the assignment. So of course the deadline is Saturday, as always. You will need to do a couple different steps with this, and we're going to pull up the template that you're going to use next. So you're going to look at 2 different days of this coming week to keep a time log for. Okay, so you're going to select 2 different days, and then you're going to write 2 different journal entries. Basically 2 paragraphs talking about the goals that you set and how you achieve them, how keeping a time log can be helpful, maybe finding those little pockets of time that are being wasted. I mean, we can schedule it a little bit differently. And then talk about the strengths that you have with your time management schedule that you're going to be implementing, and then kind of summarize what you might do to improve your strategy. Okay, so that's the assignment directions, and then also the rubric is here, and this is the same rubric that's in the classroom that I use. Okay, so let's go back. So you want to look at that overall. It gives you kind of where you're heading. And then the next thing that you can look at, you can either do one or the other. The first one is the example of what it looks like completely filled out, and the second one here is the template. So let's go ahead and look at the example since it's the next one. Give this a second to open. Okay, so when you open up the next document, you're going to have a blank one of these, but you can kind of see how it worked for this person who filled it out. Okay, so here's some of the words that you're going to need to use. Did you spend time on academic schoolwork? Was it work? If you have a job outside the home, something that you would consider self-care, it was only something you were doing for yourself. If you have a hobby, if you did something social, this is a super, super important one. If you are serious about wanting to change your habits and figure out a better schedule, for a lot of folks, me included, social media is a huge time waster. So kind of be mindful of that, and some phones even have that where it'll tell you how much screen time you have used. Now, if you're using that to do some schoolwork, that's a different thing, but that just the actual social media, not school related type of time. I think maybe I'll do that this week too and look and see how much time is wasted on that. family time, and that could be, if you notice here, family time, this person considered, all of the things we do to help our families get out the door. If it's breakfast, picking up after school, helping with homework, if you want to label that as family time. Okay. And then maybe you have like an other. So you have like an example of what that would look like. So this would be one day. I thought that I had on here. Okay, yeah, it does. It shows that after 8 o'clock, these are things they did. They did some work, they did more work, they were tired. So these little feedback things are more helpful for you. How did it make you feel by the time that you're working on doing some other things? Were you tired? Was there something you could do earlier? To change that, could get to bed earlier. So they did put the bedtime here. And it looks like this person found their hobby was reading, and that was relaxing, which is a great way to end the day, kind of de-stress and de-escalate maybe things that had happened. So, and this person put in here, checked email. That looks like that was for work. And what else did I want to point out? Things about getting distracted and using the internet or texting, because the internet is sometimes a rabbit hole that we can go down and end up looking at videos of kittens. So that's what it looks like completed. So then the second part is, as you have 200 to 300 words, which in general, a good solid paragraph is about 100 words. So you want to have between 2 and 3 good solid paragraphs. Okay, nicely written out, using professional language, and then using the terms that you've looked at in the video or in the lecture, and then also that short video. So you want to put these new strategies to work for you. All right, so let's just take a quick look at the template that you will use, and this will be that once you complete that, this will be the document that you submit to Blackboard. Okay. Okay, so this is the blank document that you will use. It's the template. Template just means that it's blank, but it already has all the spaces for you. So you would just put the date and time in there. Now remember, the first one we looked at just showed one day, but you're going to do that for 2 different days. Okay, so that's the difference in the example. So let's say you pick Tuesday. You put everything in, filled it out. What were the activities that we're doing? What did you feel like? What type of activity? Was it academic work, self-care? And then reflect on that day and then go back with the second day. So let's say you did Thursday. You wanted to do Tuesday and Thursday. So then you go back and put those activities in, and then reflecting, ideally what would happen is you look at Tuesday, is like, wow, I wasted some time here, or I could have done some things different here. Maybe I'm going to use these strategies that I learned about this week. And then so maybe your Thursday look better. That's not what you're going to be graded on, whether it changed or not, but because the time management habits are going to be on yourself, whether you want to implement them or not. So one last question. So that's going to be the bulk of the assignment this week. Of course, you have, you want to read the lecture, begin the discussion 3 days, and actively working on, responding to the classmates. So it's an interactive discussion, and people are giving back and forth, and that's happening a lot. I do want to point out about with the discussion post is that I do still see some folks using more casual language, using texting language, and not using capitalization. While it is a little less formal, it's not an essay, but you still want to make sure everything's capitalized. When you are writing about yourself, that's always capitalized. Good punctuation, sentence structure, those types of things, because everything you put your name on, you always want it to be professional. All right, and then the very last thing, you do not even have to turn this in as a Word document. You can put it in the submission. If you want to put it to Word document, that's great. But it's just a check-in for me to, it's a little conversation we can have, since this puts us real close to getting halfway through already. So you can put in there, this is going well, or this is not going well, just kind of a check-in. All right, so have a great week. See you in class.